Hi everybody, it's Tatiana, and today I'm coming with another book review, and that is a review of My Sister, the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing her first name or her last name correctly, for that matter. I did receive this as an e-arc from the publisher via NetGalley in exchange for an honest review, and the title of the story pretty much tells you what the story is about. The story takes place in Lagos, Nigeria, which I really enjoyed because this is the first book that I have read in Lagos since reading Lagoon. And so part of what I was doing was thinking about what if these people were in the lagoon when Lagoon happened. Yeah, so that was funny. I think this is supposed to be along the lines of a psychological thriller, and if you read it, there's going to be a comparison that you're going to make to it that I'm not going to make in this video because I'm sick of everything being compared to that, but that would be a legit comparison in this case, but on a smaller scale. This is a shorter story, and it starts you with what the point of the story is. The story is not surprising. There is nothing in this story that was surprising to me. There was only one thing that transpired in the story that was surprising to the main character in the story, and I don't think that surprise factor is supposed to be or was supposed to be a point of this story. I think the point of this story is to show the dynamics of the relationship between the sisters and the other people that they come into contact with, and how the ways those relationships were built and created helped to create the issue of the main character's sister being a serial killer. There's commentary on body image and what is perceived as beauty by the general public versus what is conventional beauty versus non-conventional beauty, or being comfortable in your own skin, or being comfortable being compared to someone else, and possible jealousy between siblings, and how this entire lifestyle that has been created, and this entire being that has been created to cater to one of the siblings. And how my camera battery died. We're going to try and pick up where I left off because I had to go through and delete some footage in the middle of what was a good flow of me talking. Anywho, there's also an issue of who and how it's determined who is good and who is bad, as well as what makes a person deserving of a position of power, and how well do you really know somebody. All of these things come together in this story. Not a single solitary character in this story was likable, and it's been a long time since I have read a story where there wasn't at least one character that I found somewhat redeeming. I did not find a single solitary character in this story redeeming, and I don't think they're supposed to be redeeming, because there's no room for any of them to be good. Even the one character in the story who could possibly be the good character of everybody who is in the story, it comes to the point where you realize you ain't that decent either. But overall, this was just an okay read for me. I did enjoy reading it, but it was not something that kept me so gripped. It took me 3 days to read the book, because after I started it and literally got 47% of the way through, I didn't pick it up the second day because it just wasn't that. I could tell at that point that it wasn't going to be anything that was necessarily surprising to me as far as the way that the story went. There are some very interesting tidbits in there, because what it does, I almost forgot to say, is it goes back in time. There are time jumps. So you started in the present day, but it gives you some historical jump backs to look at the relationship of the family of the two sisters, that gives you a background as to how this situation came to be. But I just wasn't connected to the story, and that could be because none of the characters were likable, but I actually like the fact that I didn't like any of the characters. And again, I haven't read a story like this where I didn't like anybody in a long time, and I kind of want to find more books like that. But yeah, it was just an okay read for me. It was entertaining, I will say that. I would not say that it was horrible. I would suggest it as a read if you are looking for something that is, again, not going to require a lot of thought, because it tells you the point of the story in the title. So there is nothing about the point of the story that's a surprise. There's nothing after you read like the first chapter. No, the first 2 chapters, because the first chapter is really short. But after you read the first 2 chapters, you know how this is going to go. You understand the dynamics of these relationships and things. And so the only thing that you really get to see more of as you go through the story is the mentality and the creation of this situation. But yeah, I'm trying to explain away the fact that it was just an okay read for me, and the fact of the matter is it's just an okay read, and that's not a bad thing. If you like psychological thrillers and you read a lot of psychological thrillers, this might not be the book for you. But if you are not that into psychological thrillers and you want to tap into that, give it a go. And I'm going to stop this review right here. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a good weekend whenever you see this video. Peace out.